Well, hello, my soul friends. It is Victoria on the Soul Nurturer channel. How are you doing today? How are you feeling? What are you noticing? That's the whole purpose of this channel, is to help connect you to your, what I call, sacred awareness, to your soul wisdom, to your soul potential, for the purpose of reclaiming and expanding into your highest possibilities. How about that? So, as you know, for those of you who do subscribe to this channel, and if you are not one of them, hey, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe right now. Hit the bell so you'll be notified when I upload videos. I try to do a video a week, and when I get back in alignment myself, I'll be doing them more consistently. I've just been going and growing. I like to say growing through a lot myself. And so I'm really, really grateful to talk about this full moon in Sagittarius happening on June 3rd, 8:42 Pacific time. Of course, wherever you are living, it'll be a different time because you're probably in a different time zone. So, I'm already feeling this full moon, and that's why I'm asking you, how are you feeling? What are you noticing? This is the best way to track the astrological weather, by how you're feeling, what you're noticing in your own world and in the collective. What are you noticing, right? And get a sense of, first feel into it, and then get the corresponding energy. Like it's astrology is a symbolic language, and you learn it by tuning into yourself and then learning about it, or watching someone like me and make the connections. Oh yeah, I do notice something. Well, we have the sun in Gemini, and the moon will be moving into Sagittarius, and since they are opposite signs, and on the 3rd they will be exactly opposite in 13-degree Gemini, 13 degrees of Sagittarius. An opposition is what we call a full moon, when the moon that doesn't emit light on its own is fully lit up from the sun. And full moons tend to fully light up what we need to see in the area the moon is in. So there's a lot going on with this full moon, but really, truly, I am feeling this buoyancy. I'm feeling this joy. I'm feeling expansive energy. I'm feeling hope. How about you? I'm wondering, because we have had a lot of significant shifts in the astrology, and I'll cover a few of those. I did cover it, I think, in the new moon video. Jupiter going into Taurus, I think, is a big shift that we're feeling, because we're grounding a lot of our lofty visions and goals and ideas in practical ways, and taking action to really grow our potential. That's Jupiter in Taurus, but I'll touch on that. Okay, I'm going to slow down because my mind is racing with this wonderful, playful energy of Sagittarius and Gemini. By the way, happy birthday, happy solar return season, my Gemini friends. Let me know where you're watching from, when your birthday is. Well, all of you watching, let me know where you're watching from. I encourage you, and since we've got, loquacious Gemini sun energy, you may want to comment, and I hope you do. The more comments, the more likes, the more views, helps me get my soul outreach out there to others in a greater way. So thank you. And I will say this, I still am offering the 20-minute consultations. And by the way, email me if you want that. Go to my website, victoriajazwig.com. It'll be in the details, and request a consultation or a session. Maybe you watch my videos and you feel ready to make some transformational changes in your life, and you'd like me to help you do that. We look at your, what I call the soul chart, your blueprint of your soul that's unfolding your potential and your purpose, and figuring out where you are in your life that isn't congruent with your authentic nature. I love that. That's what I do. So be brave. Sign up for or request a full session, or still offering the 20-minute free consults. It's 20 minutes with me, mostly to describe the work that I do and how I would support you, but we can look at your chart. People like to do that, and I love to assist there. And so what I was going to say is, somebody called me and left a message requesting some support with their chart. I wrote down your number and I don't know what I did with it. And I'm so sorry I did not get back to you. I had so many requests for 20-minute consultations and you were the only one that called me. And I'm so sorry. The best way to reach me is via my website. Okay, then I have your email, I have all your details, and I can get back to you, and there's an electronic trail and I won't lose it. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, all right, first let me just say here in this, full moon coming, let me tell you some of the other aspects. Moon will also be square Saturn. We've got moon trine Mars. We have got, let me go back up here. Venus trine Neptune, Mercury conjunct Uranus, and then this is the buoyancy, the expansiveness I think I'm feeling. Not only is Jupiter in Taurus, it is starting today when I'm recording this on May 30th. Jupiter is in conjunction with the moon's node, the nodes of destiny, the node of destiny. I really feel this buoyancy this week, and I really feel like personally, I'm not going to lie, I've gone through some hard weeks. A lot's been stirred up. I have Pluto transiting my first house, among other things. But does anyone else have that transit? That would mean you've got a late degree Capricorn rising or an Aquarius rising. Whew, it is stirring up a lot of, old stuff that I've looked at. But it's, Pluto wants us to look deeper, to really transform, transmute, shift out of old patterns so that we can rise with our power. So that's been going on with me, and I'm not going to lie, it's been heavy. It's been kind of weighted and intense. But I have been feeling, beginning yesterday, I just felt this, again, buoyancy. My body feels lighter. Well, so today we have Jupiter conjuncting the North Node of Destiny, and this will be active on the full moon. This is a big contributor to this full moon. Now remember, a full moon, and this full moon is the strawberry moon. Why is it the strawberry moon? Because it's the season when strawberries are ripe, right? So that's how the full moons, indigenous cultures named the full moons based on what was going on in nature, right? And I love that because astrology is illuminating what's going on with our nature, our true nature, where we're disconnected, where we're working with the astrological weather to sculpt, cultivate what we need to fulfill the potential that Creator has placed within us. So with all of these aspects, let me just see if I can just break it down. I like to break it down in terms of a story. But, with these players, think about the main actors in this play that's happening on the full moon is the Sun in Gemini and the Moon in Sagittarius. Sun in Gemini, the axis, the polarity between Gemini and Sagittarius is, I feel playful. It's mind, it's learning. Gemini is the student wanting to learn and details, the day-to-day details and the facts and watching the news and getting all the mundane day-to-day stuff. Sagittarius takes that to the higher possibility. Okay, what are you learning? Now, what can we teach from there? What can we cultivate from there? What new world can we create together? Sagittarius moon, our moon is our emotions, full moon, illuminating the subconscious, bringing to light what we're missing that's blocking our path forward. So wherever 13 degrees of Sagittarius is in your chart is where the full moon is happening. This is what I could help you with, or you can go to astro.com, create your own chart and take a look. Whatever house it's going through is the house that's lit up in your chart. So like for me, it's in my 11th house, which is friends and wishes and visioning, community connection, lit up in my 11th house. So I know I've already felt that. I felt like I need to have some conversations with some people that I haven't talked to for a while. That's the full moon. Think about like the full moon pulling the tides of the ocean. It's like the full moon pulling the tides of, our own emotions. Full moons can bring our emotions, but can also reveal again what needs to be healed. That illuminated awareness. We can no longer deny, especially with the moon in Sagittarius, which is all about truth telling. My first feeling about this is, let the playful energy of these two join, in opposition, but the two players, Gemini and Sagittarius, they're both playful, they're both curious, and Sagittarius wants to, learn the lesson and teach the lesson. We have to be careful. And if any of you are Sagittarians out there, or you have a Sagittarius moon or a rising, I have Venus and Mars in Sag. So I'm very, I get really excited about the moon in Sagittarius. I get excited about learning and helping others achieve their visions. I get excited about adventures. And this is all Sagittarius archetypal expression. Adventures of the mind. It could be a shamanic journeying to a higher expanded place of your soul and your human potential. And so there's a lot of excitement around this moon, and again, I think of it too with this honesty, like needing to clear some things up. Clearing, especially in whatever house it's in, to get honest about that, to tell your truth. But since there's playful energy, and it comes with innocence and innocent intention, like I want to do the right thing. And that's a Sagittarius vibe too. I want to do the right thing here. So then we've got Venus trine Neptune, which can, it's romantic, it's idealistic. And this can be a challenge though, because moon and Sag, like we can be idealistic. The energy can feel like idealism. Or remember, there's higher and lower frequencies that we can say of every sign, every placement. So the sun in Gemini, the lower energy of that could be gossiping and fickleness and, just kind of too mired in the details and watching too much news. The higher vibration of that is, I want to learn. I really want to understand. And I want to communicate in a better way. And Sagittarius, then that we have Sagittarius, communication expanded so that we're learning and growing and evolving. But the lower vibration of Sagittarius can be too what's the word? Fundamentalism. It's like righteousness. Like, no, this is only the way it is, and it's only what I believe, and my truth should be your truth. Now, that's the lower vibration. The higher vibration is I'm seeking higher truth, and I want to include the higher vibration of Sagittarius, include everybody in understanding. So what truth do you have to tell? What's been on your heart? What have you been like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to deal with that. This energy is here to support you to speak your truth with love, expanded vision, and playfulness, and joy. I feel joy too. And then there's Mercury conjunct Uranus. So that's like, Uranus is going to Uranus conjunct Mercury. Mercury is how we communicate. It's like wants to get it out there. And it may be shocking. Your truth may be shocking to someone, like what you have to share and how you share it. They may say, this doesn't seem like you. This isn't you. Now, remember, when people say that's not like you, they're referencing an old version of you. Especially with this full moon in Sagittarius, we want to notice those who can evolve with us or can honor how we're evolving, how we're changing, how we're shifting, how we're transforming. Because unless they do, they're going to try to pull us back. Remember my last video, if you watch, I use this reference of our old neighborhood where we literally grew up and metaphorically were programmed and conditioned in a way of being, that old neighborhood, all of our negative core beliefs, all the things we did to be safe. And a lot of that is playing small. Transformation and healing and evolution of the soul and our potential is moving to a new neighborhood that's aligned with our true nature, that has beliefs that are supportive, that we tell a new story that lifts us up. Sagittarius is all about, our beliefs, how we view ourselves, how we view the world. This is big for this full moon. Mercury conjunct Uranus is inviting us to be innovative with our thinking, get out of the box, explore new possibilities, let yourself evolve to, well, I used to be this way. I used to live in this old neighborhood, but I'm out of the box now. And now, or here's better. This is better. I'm having imagery. You're at the top of the mountain, the peak of the adventure you've been on so far. And you can now see, oh, I see where I was playing small. Ooh, I see where I was dishonest and out of integrity there. Ooh, I see where I was kind of out of integrity and maybe gossiping and not being my highest potential. So be gentle with yourself when you see what the full moon brings. Remember, I always say with transformation, it's like walking into a room and turning on a light that you haven't been in for a while. We turn on the light, and it's like, oh gosh, I didn't deal with that clutter. Oh, I never did that. So it can feel overwhelming. Full moons can feel overwhelming. Feel your feelings, but be gentle and compassionate with yourself. Okay, because whatever's brought to your awareness is just the next lesson plan or the next step. It's either a lesson or a step. Sometimes we go back a few steps to learn the lessons again. So what have you been learning? What have you been studying? What have you been drawn to? Where's your curiosity been drawing you to? And what is it revealing to you that is the big lesson for you right now? I was talking to a friend of mine, and we had tea yesterday, and I said, wouldn't it be great if we had like a light that flashed above our heads? She was telling a story, and all I could see was the light above her head saying, in the middle of a lesson. Because wouldn't that be nice for people to see that, like we're talking and we're trying to connect with them, but they see, oh, in the middle of a lesson, and they go, oh gosh, I have so much compassion for you. You're in the middle of a lesson? Me too. Guess what? We all are. So more compassion for each other, and let, again, the innocence of the Sagittarius full moon, see the innocence in each person. I always think of, gosh, my favorite verse in the Bible is, forgive them, they know not what they do. That's because if we can, although Leo's usually connected to the inner child, I think Sagittarius is playfulness and childlike. So if we could see the younger self in the person that we're dealing with, that can sometimes be the wounded younger self, maybe we can have more compassion for them and for ourselves especially. Okay, let's see. What else did I want to talk about here with this full moon? I think this is a perfect time to reconnect with what you've been visioning for. This week leading up to the full moon and 3 days after is the time to get your vision board out. What have you been visioning for? It's time to go, okay, I'm going to check my beliefs. Are my beliefs supporting my vision? If not, time to change those beliefs. And I always say beliefs are like the clothes we try on. When you get dressed to go out and you put on your best outfit and you feel really good. Well, why do we put on crappy beliefs? They don't feel good, right? Like, I'm not good enough. Like, I'm putting on my crappy clothes. I'm going to walk out and deal with people. No. So think about your beliefs as clothing you wear. And this is a time to uplevel your beliefs, to expand your potential, to get out of the box, to take the adventure that only you can. And I mean that metaphorically and literally. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Let this full moon in Sagittarius spark. This is a fire sign. Spark the fire in you to pursue what calls to you. A soul call. We vision for higher possibilities. And then there's those soul calls that, come through our nightly dreams, or when you're possibly envious of someone else, like, oh, wow, look at what they're doing. Or hopefully you're grateful, like, my friend's really rocking their life. But there's a little bit of envy. That little bit of envy is shadow. It's saying, that's your potential too. What are you doing for your potential? What are you doing for your higher possibilities? And I feel like this full moon is really lighting that up for us. I think that's about all I wanted to say. I wish I had someone to ask me a question. I feel like I need to This is such a juicy full moon. I just really do what you're called to do. You know, a lot of people do full moon rituals, letting go. I really feel like this, I feel like the clearing has happened. I feel like this is stand tall in your vision. Here it is. Finally, I was waiting. Teach people how to treat you. Remember that saying, we teach people how to treat us, but teach them how to be with you. That's better. Be with you. That's aligned with your true nature. The you that you're trying to emerge. The you that you're every single day cultivating what you need, your beliefs, your patterns, in order to be that consistently and effortlessly. And I teach my clients to do what I call getting current with people. And this might be, I think this is the perfect application. I usually like to offer one of my tools to support a lunation cycle. And in this case, because the Sagittarius full moon is illuminating where we want to really be ourselves, where we want to speak our truth and teach what we have to teach, and maybe share a new philosophy that we've been cultivating, and maybe we've been afraid to say, I don't really believe that anymore. This is what I believe, and feel joyous and full of gratitude in sharing what you believe. Now, of course, when you have lifetime friends, and of course our families, who see us as a certain way and have us in a certain box that they're familiar with, that is comfortable for them, they don't really want us to change. And that's a big challenge, right? When our whole soul evolution requires us to change and transform, but people are so like, oh, but if you change, that means I might have to change, and if you change, my needs that I was getting met through the way you were aren't getting met. So people fear change, and people fear their loved ones changing, believe it or not. It's deeply primal. It's deeply unconscious. I mean, consciously, remember, we're only really consciously are, how do I say it? We're usually only 5% of the time in our conscious mind, which is logic, reasoning, being able to navigate what is. The majority of the time, 95%, we're in our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind and our conditioned material is programmed to keep us safe. And this is why people will react when we're trying to evolve. And they'll want us, sadly, they want us, it's more comfortable for us to stay the same. Not with this full moon. This is time to rock your changes, to speak your truth. And I was saying my tool, right? Okay. This is how you do it. This won't work for everyone, because not everyone in your family or not all your friends will get this. That's just the truth. Speaking some Sagittarius truth here. But for those that you want to invite in to where you're working and how you're cultivating, the potential you're cultivating, what your vision is for your life, who and how you want to be in the world, you might want to invite them to a conversation. And it will go something like this. You know how, and this, you'll use your own words, of course, but something like this. You know how it's really transformation is so important to me, and you know how I'm always reading all those books and taking all those classes? It's because I'm trying to evolve my potential and shift out of my old way of being. And since you've known me in my old way of being, I want to invite you to get current with me. And what current with me, and this is the side note, means as you talk to your friends and family, is to tell them, you may not fully be activated in it, but what you're striving for, what you're practicing in every day, the vision of you, the higher possibility of you. So then back to my pretend conversation. And getting current with me would mean that you no longer reference me as you always. Remember how you used to, because I'm trying to grow into who I could be, not who I was. And so that may look like that getting current with me is you ask me how I view the world now. You ask me what beliefs I'm holding and want reflected back to me that are helping me grow my potential. That you're teaching, now I'm off script again, the point of it getting current with our friends and family. But you're not going to do this with a stranger or an acquaintance. By the way, I want you to get current with me. Like, well, I don't even know who you are. And this is the big moon in Sagittarius question. Who are you? Who are you trying to become? What are you trying to emerge? What are you feeling called to? First, you need to get current with you, and then teach those you wish to join you on the unfolding adventure and journey of your life. That's it right there. Okay, I hope this video was helpful. I hope that there was something that resonated with your soul and enlivened your possibilities, activated some potential in you, brought some joy. And if it did, please do comment. Let me know what your takeaways are. And that looks like, what did you hear me say that really sparked something in you or inspired you to some action? Or ask me any questions. I love to answer questions. Again, I will continue as long as my schedule permits to offer these 20-minute free consultations. Only one, folks. But this is via Zoom, so anywhere in the world, I'll meet you via Zoom. Just go to my website at www.victoriajazwick.com. I'll put it in the details or description. I always get it confused, whichever platform I'm on. This is YouTube, so in the details, I think it is. All right, so take good care of you until we meet next time. I want to hear how this full moon not only feels for you in advance, like say, this is what I'm noticing right now, and then come back after the full moon and comment and tell me what you experienced. And if you know what house this full moon is happening in, please make a note of that in the comments. Just say, the full moon was occurring in my 5th house, and here's what happened. Okay? All right. That's it. I feel like I want to talk to you guys all day long, but I gotta go. And I've got my own adventure to unfold, my own beliefs to reconcile, and my own emerging to do. So sending you so much joyful love, joyful blessings. Let's do this. This is a powerful week. Let's expand our potential, shall we? Okay, see you next time. Take good care. Until then, bye-bye.